Boys, I think Bryce Mitchell could really get this done this weekend. So we are in Abu Dhabi for Reiner de Ritter versus Robert Whitaker. And the first fight on the main card, they kind of disrespected my boy a little bit, but it's all right, is Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. Bryce Mitchell's coming down from 145 to fight at 135. His last fight famously was against Gene Silva. Gene Silva looked like a monster against Bryce Mitchell. Looked like Gene Silva was 2 weight classes above Bryce Mitchell. Okay, there was a clear power discrepancy. Every time Bryce Mitchell got punched by Gene Silva, you saw he didn't want to get hit again. He knew that Gene Silva had power. So this move all the way back down to well, not back down, but this move down to 135 is a great career move. A great career move. He even said, listen, in my career, I'm used to looking up at people. I've always been small. But at 135, I'm taller than all these dudes. He's taller than Said Nurmagomedov. If I didn't already say, Bryce Mitchell's going to be fighting Said Nurmagomedov on the first fight of the main card for Robert Whitaker versus Reiner de Ritter. I am hyped. Bryce Mitchell is taller than most of these guys at 135. His jiu-jitsu is solid. He's quick. He does like to stand there and bang it out with you, but he can also take it to the ground. He could submission you out. Now listen, Said Nurmagomedov has not won a fight since 2023. Now, don't be scared. I understand his last name is Nurmagomedov, and we've seen this name multiple times. Well, with Habib Nurmagomedov. He is not related to Habib. I know that sounds a little weird. I even thought that they were cousins. But apparently, for whatever reason, they just have the same last name and they're not related, which I find a little creepy. I think they're lying to us, but we have to take the truth from the we can't say the person who knows all the information is lying, aka like the Abu Dhabi reporters. You know what I'm saying? So this dude Said Nurmagomedov has not won a fight since 2023. He lost a fight against Vinicius Oliveira in 2025, who just fought on the Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway fight against Kyler Phillips, and he won a decision unanimous. That was a pretty solid fight. Kyler Phillips is a monster. All right? Said Nurmagomedov likes to squabble it out. He does like to squabble it out. His last fight was finished in the first round via guillotine choke, but previous to that, he lost to Jonathan Martinez in 2023 decision unanimous. This kid is 1-2 in his last 3. He's 1-2 in his last 3. Now, Bryce Mitchell, on the other hand, is a savage. He's also 1-2 in his last 3. But let's be for real. He got thrashed around by Gene Silva, and he lasted 2 rounds against Gene Silva. 2 whole rounds against Gene Silva, even though he did get put unconscious. He won a fight against Kron Gracie, which, Kron Gracie, he's been cut from the UFC, I think, immediately after that fight. And then he got put in a seizure against Josh Emmett. He's been on a win-1, lose-1 streak, my boy Bryce Mitchell, and he's right down the alley to win a fight. Now, they asked him, hey, listen, do you think your jiu-jitsu or your striking is going to be used more in this fight? And he said, I believe my striking is going to be used more in this fight because Said Nurmagomedov likes to squabble it out. He does. He has 4 KO wins in his career, Said Nurmagomedov, 6 submission wins, and 8 decision wins. This guy's never been knocked out or submitted, by the way, so just keep that in mind. Said Nurmagomedov, obviously we've seen Bryce Mitchell get sparked unconscious, okay? And we saw Gene Silva ninja choke him unconscious again. But this is going to be a good fight. I want to see how quick Bryce Mitchell is. I know he's going to make weight. He's fought at 135 previously in his professional career, not his amateur career, his real actual professional career. So I'm excited to see how this goes. This might be a real bounce back scenario for him. Really. Gene Silva looked absolutely massive against him. Josh Emmett looked massive against him. Ilia Topuria, they're the same size, but Ilia Topuria is smaller than everybody. And Bryce Mitchell and Ilia were low-key the same size. I think Bryce Mitchell is 2 inches taller than him. But this is a good career move. This shows us that, if anything, Ilia Topuria could move back down from 155, cut 145, and then go all the way back down to 135. Be the 4-division weight champ. 135, 145, 155, 170. Hold all the belts like this, you know what I mean? But I'm excited for this main event of the main event. You know what I mean? The main event of the main card. The first fight of the main card. Bryce, you are in the area kind of where you need to be. You're in Abu Dhabi. Listen, I'm not going to say any much more than that, okay? They don't like the people you don't like. So you're going to be getting cheered out. You might get more cheers than Saeed Nurmagomedov if we're being for real. If we're being honest. Again, Saeed has never been knocked out or submitted ever in his career, but he's not active. He hasn't won a fight since 2023. And he lost to Vinicius Oliveira and Jonathan Martinez. To be fair, he lost against Ronnie Barcelos, but Ronnie Barcelos is a anomaly. Ronnie Barcelos just went out there and beat up Cody Garbrandt. Ronnie Barcelos is going places, all right? So, we're going to see. But I got Bryce Mitchell. I really do. I do think he's right. I think this is going to be a primarily stand and bang fight. I don't think that these dudes are going to want to take it to the ground with each other. Both of them are nasty in the jiu-jitsu space, all right? So, I got Bryce Mitchell. I think this is going to be good. Hopefully, Bryce Mitchell can elevate himself into the top 10 of 135. He says that he's a threat for Merab Dvalishvili. Bryce, come on. I don't think so, brother. I don't think so. Let's go. I don't think so. All right? You got choked out by Gene Silva. Merab, he's elevating every day. I'm not gonna say, he has more finishes than Gene Silva. Obviously, Merab doesn't, but don't talk about my gold like that. Nobody's beating Merab. Even if you put Merab in a room with 3 pit bulls, I got Merab, all right? Merab over everybody. But Bryce, I'm excited to see you at 135. I think you're gonna do some damage. There is some good matchups. I want to see Peter Yan, Mario Batista versus Bryce Mitchell. Song Yadong versus Bryce. There's some good matchups here, boys. Anyways, hopefully we get to see Bryce with this W. Go fishing in the Abu Dhabi waters. Oh, you know what I mean? I'm out of here, boys.